Everyone at my school thought I was rich. Designer bags. Perfect clothes. A life they all wanted. But the truth? I could barely afford lunch. Every photo I posted was fake. Every smile was borrowed. Every compliment was built on a lie. When they found out I'd been faking it, I thought my life was over. They laughed. They mocked me. They made me the joke of the entire school. But here's the thing. Now they all want me back. And it's too late. My name is Maya. I'm 17. And up until last year I was completely invisible. I grew up in a small apartment on the edge of town. My mom worked 2 jobs just to keep the lights on. My dad left when I was 9. I never had the newest phone or the trendy clothes. My shoes were always from the clearance rack at Target. And I was okay with that. At least I told myself I was. But then I got accepted into Westridge Academy. It's this private school on the rich side of the city. Full scholarship because of my grades. My mom cried when I got the letter. She thought it was my ticket to a better life. Maybe it was. But it didn't feel that way. From day one I knew I didn't belong. Everyone drove to school in cars that cost more than my mom made in a year. Girls carried purses that could have paid our rent for 6 months. They talked about vacation homes in Aspen and summer trips to Europe like it was nothing. Me. I took 2 buses just to get there every morning. I ate lunch alone in the library and pretended to scroll through my phone so no one would notice I had nowhere to sit. I hated feeling small. I hated feeling like I had to apologize for existing. But I didn't know how to change it. Until one day everything shifted. It was October. The school's annual fall gala was coming up. It's this huge charity event where everyone dresses up and pretends to care about causes while really just showing off their outfits. I wasn't planning on going. I didn't have a dress. I didn't have money for a ticket. And I definitely didn't have the confidence to walk into a room full of people who already looked at me like I didn't matter. But then my cousin Sienna called. She's older than me. 23. Works in fashion and lives in a loft downtown. She heard about the gala and offered to let me borrow a dress. Not just any dress. A black designer gown. The kind with a label that makes people turn their heads. I tried it on in her apartment and barely recognized myself. For the first time I looked like I belonged. I took a photo in her mirror. Just for me. But when I posted it on Instagram something happened. People I'd never spoken to started liking it. Commenting. Asking where I got the dress. Suddenly I wasn't invisible anymore. I was seen. And it felt incredible. The next day at school everything changed. Girls who used to walk past me in the hallway stopped to compliment my style. Guys smiled at me. One of the popular girls, Ashley, even invited me to sit with her group at lunch. I should have said no. I should have told the truth. But I didn't. Because for the first time in my life I felt like I mattered. So I kept going. I started borrowing more things from Sienna. Bags. Jewelry. I'd take photos in her apartment and post them like they were mine. I changed the way I talked. Started dropping brand names casually in conversation. Hermes. Chanel. Louis Vuitton. I didn't even know how to pronounce half of them at first. But I learned. I studied these girls like it was a language I had to master. And it worked. Within weeks I had a whole new friend group. Ashley. Madison. Olivia. They invited me to parties. Tagged me in photos. Treated me like I was one of them. There was this guy. His name was Ethan. Dark hair. Blue eyes. Captain of the lacrosse team. The kind of guy who could have had anyone. And he started texting me. We'd stay up late talking about music and movies and stupid inside jokes. He made me feel like I wasn't just some girl playing dress up. Like maybe I actually deserved to be there. But the more I lied, the harder it got to keep track. I had to remember which stories I told to who, which photos I posted and when. I started using apps to edit my pictures, adding fake locations, tagging luxury stores I'd never even walked into. My follower count tripled. Random people from school started following me, liking my posts, asking for advice on where to shop. It was exhausting, but it was also addicting. Because every like felt like proof that I was worth something. Every comment felt like validation. And I couldn't stop. Even when the guilt started creeping in. Even when I'd lie awake at night wondering what would happen if they found out. I told myself it didn't matter. That I'd figure it out eventually. That maybe, just maybe, I could keep this going forever. I was wrong. It happened at Madison's birthday party. She rented out this rooftop venue downtown. There were servers. A dessert table that looked like it belonged in a magazine. I showed up in another one of Sienna's dresses. A red silk slip dress that made me feel untouchable. Ethan was there. He smiled when he saw me. Pulled me onto the dance floor. For a moment, everything felt perfect. And then I saw her. Sienna. Walking through the entrance with her boyfriend. I froze. She wasn't supposed to be here. I didn't even know she knew Madison. But of course she did. Rich people always know each other. He spotted me across the room. Her face lit up. She started walking over. And that's when I realized. She was going to say something. She was going to mention the dresses. The apartment. The photos. Panic hit me like a wave. I grabbed Ethan's hand and pulled him toward the bathroom. Told him I wasn't feeling well. He looked concerned. Asked if I needed water. I just nodded. But before I could escape, Madison's voice cut through the music. Waya. Oh my God, is that your cousin? Everyone turned. Sienna was standing there. Smiling. Completely unaware of what was about to happen. Yeah, she said, walking over. Maya borrows my stuff all the time. I love that dress on you, by the way. Looks better on you than it ever did on me. The room went silent. Ashley's eyes narrowed. Madison tilted her head. Ethan looked confused. And just like that, it was over. Ashley pulled out her phone. Within minutes, someone had found my real address online. Screenshots of my actual house. My mom's car. My Instagram photos with the metadata showing they were taken at Sienna's apartment, not mine. The group chat exploded. They didn't even wait until I left the party. People were laughing, whispering, staring. I tried to explain. Tried to say it wasn't a big deal. That I never actually said I was rich. But it didn't matter. I'd let them believe it. And that was enough. Ethan didn't even look at me. He just walked away. Ashley posted a video on her story. When you find out the rich girl is actually broke. He got thousands of views in an hour. I left the party in tears. Deleted Instagram on the way home. And spent the entire weekend in bed wishing I could disappear. Monday morning was the worst day of my life. I thought about skipping school. Faking sick. But my mom had already left for work and I didn't have an excuse. So I went. The second I walked through the doors I felt it. Eyes. Whispers. Laughter. Someone had made a meme of my face with the caption, Budget Barbie. It was everywhere. Printed out and taped to lockers. Shared in group chats. Posted on the school's anonymous gossip page. Kept my head down. Walked straight to my first class. But even there I wasn't safe. Ashley and Madison sat 2 rows behind me. I could hear them giggling. She really thought she could fool us, Madison whispered. So embarrassing. I wanted to turn around. To say something. To defend myself. But what was the point? They were right. I had lied. I had pretended to be someone I wasn't. And now I was paying for it. Ethan didn't text me. Didn't even look at me in the hallway. It hurt more than I expected. I thought maybe he liked me for me. But I guess I'll never know. Because the version of me he liked didn't exist. For weeks I ate lunch alone again. Avoided parties. Stopped posting online. I became invisible all over again. But this time it was worse. Because now people didn't just ignore me. They actively hated me. I thought about transferring schools. Starting over somewhere new. But my mom couldn't afford private school tuition without the scholarship. And I wasn't going to let her sacrifice more for my mistakes. So I stayed. And I survived. Barely. Something shifted in me around winter break. I stopped caring what they thought. Not because I was over it. But because I was tired. Tired of pretending. Tired of feeling ashamed. Tired of letting them control how I saw myself. I started spending more time in the art room. I'd always loved drawing but never had time for it when I was busy keeping up appearances. My art teacher, Miss Caldwell, noticed. She started staying late to give me feedback. Encouraging me to submit my work to competitions. One day she told me about a scholarship program for young artists. Full ride to a summer intensive in New York. All expenses paid. I applied. Not because I thought I'd get it. But because I had nothing left to lose. 2 months later I got the acceptance email. I cried. Not sad tears. Relief. I posted about it on Instagram. Not to brag. Just because I was proud. And for the first time I didn't care who saw it. The comments were mixed. Some people congratulated me. Others left snake emojis. But I didn't delete it. I let it stand. Because it was real. And that's all I wanted to be anymore. I started dressing how I wanted. Thrifted jeans and vintage band tees. Nothing expensive. Nothing borrowed. Just me. And slowly people started noticing. Not the fake friends. But real ones. There was this girl in my English class. Her name was Jordan. She'd always been quiet. Kind. She came up to me one day and said she thought my art was beautiful. We started sitting together at lunch. Talking about books and music and life. She didn't care that I wasn't rich. She didn't care that I'd been the joke of the school. She just liked me. And that meant more than anything Ashley or Madison ever said. I started feeling like myself again. Not the version I thought people wanted. Just me. It's been almost a year now. I'm a senior. And everything's different. Last month, Ashley texted me out of nowhere. Hey, long time no talk. Want to come to my pool party this weekend? I stared at the message for a long time. Part of me wanted to ignore it. I was curious. So I replied. Why? 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. I don't know. I guess I just miss hanging out with you. You seem like you're doing really well. I almost laughed. She didn't miss me. She missed the version of me she thought was useful. The version that made her look good by association. I texted back. Thanks, but I'm good. Have fun though. She never replied. Ethan approached me in the library a few weeks ago. Said he wanted to apologize. That he should have been a better friend. That he was sorry for how everything went down. I looked at him. Really looked at him. And I realized I didn't feel anything anymore. No anger. No sadness. Just nothing. It's okay, I said. I'm over it. And I was. The truth is, pretending to be rich taught me something. It taught me that validation from the wrong people is worthless. That confidence isn't something you buy. Something you build. And that the only person I needed to impress was myself. Now when I walk through the halls, I don't feel small. I don't feel invisible. I feel free. And that's worth more than any designer bag ever could be. I used to think I needed money to matter. I thought if I looked a certain way or had certain things, people would finally see me. But the only person who needed to see me was me. Money fades. Trends change. But authenticity, that's forever. If you're struggling to fit in, if you feel like you have to pretend to be someone you're not just to be accepted, hear me when I say this. You don't. The right people will love you for who you are. Not for what you have. And the people who only care about the surface, they were never your people to begin with. I spent so much time trying to be enough for everyone else. And in the end, the only person I needed to be enough for was myself. Just when I thought I'd figured out who my real friends were, one of them betrayed me in a way I never saw coming. But that's a story for another day. This was my story. What would you have done if you were me? Let me know in the comments. And if this resonated with you, hit that subscribe button. Because trust me, there's so much more to tell. See you in the next one.